Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my first brain dump video. I'm super excited for you guys to tag along. It's about 23 minutes long. Just did a quick playthrough, listened through the entirety of it, and just wanted to put out a couple thoughts prior to listening to it. So it's a whirlwind. It's definitely a brain dump. I think there is some linear listening there, but it also goes on a lot of tangents. And I think what I need to get better at doing is not saying I think, as well as uh, wrapping up certain ideas and thoughts. I think they all flow together, but what happened was I'll go on an idea, spring off on that, and talk about it for a while, and then really that merges into another idea, and it all kind of goes through. I feel like they're all relevant with each other, but it might come off a little confusing for others. Anyways, don't want to preface the podcast too much, but check it out. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm pretty happy with it right off the bat. It's great to get out of your comfort zone and speak your mind, and it was actually very therapeutic to just kind of sit there and speak. So, without further ado, enjoy. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. Again, welcome to today's podcast type video. Today I just wanted to shoot some shit and just talk about it. Just get the recorder going. I actually didn't plan out anything to do with this video, but I just wanted to kind of just spit and just talk about things I'm feeling, things I'm stressed about, things that I think I learned over the past week, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no. This last week has been really pivotal in the last couple of weeks. Actually, this week has really stood out, really made me aware of my wants and desires, and really taking the time to actually think what I want. I find I'm a very indecisive person. I guess that's what Libras do, from the description. And I'm not necessarily believe in horoscopes, but they're awfully accurate. I don't care if they're broad. They just hit it on the nail sometimes. So yes, us Libras are quite indecisive. So I find myself bouncing between things I want to do, things I don't want to do, and then like switching within like the day. I'll want to do something else. One morning I'm fucking super upset, and by the end of the day I'm in such a good mood and I'm thinking of other things. So anyways, on my mind, I've been thinking about what I want to do in the next couple of months/year here, and it's trying to figure out the plan. So I have a very strong desire to go travel India. The last few months I've been diving deep into Hinduism, meditation. I've been doing meditation for close to a year now, and just doing about 20 to 30 minutes a day doing mindfulness meditation. So that's just focusing on your breath, focusing on your surroundings, and just being aware of the sounds and the sights and your breath around you. Essentially, there's a lot more to go into it, but it's just helped me calm down. It's really eliminated a lot of my anxiety, and it's just made me more aware and present during the day. And I think, again, that's a very important thing to get into. And I really think that society is really shifting into this more mindful mode. We're kind of waking up, and I know that's such a term that we use so much in saying woke, but I think we're slowly as a society starting to wake up in a way where people are realizing that these social medias and social media, is kind of corrupting you. It's taking away your attention. Like, I find myself watching Netflix and I can't even focus for 15 minutes in a show, and I get distracted and I pull my phone out, and then I'm lost, and I'm just like not into the movie anymore. And it's so crazy to think that all these years of social media has kind of like deteriorated my brain, and we all have ADD now. I was never told I had ADD or ADHD or the medical condition that it's called, but I've always been a very distracted person in school. And I ultimately think that's something because it's just not my interest. When I'm interested in something, I'm pretty focused on that. And I think there's a big miseducation around it. But again, social media is just, you're getting those quick dopamine hits when you're scrolling Instagram. And then you're also seeing, for me, beautiful women, people that are more successful than me. And it drives me nuts. It's you don't actually consciously make note that this is affecting you and you're comparing and judging yourself. But subconsciously, you're seeing someone with that Ferrari, or someone on that boat, more specifically, someone on that boat hanging out with all these beautiful women, having a good time, drinking, and not necessarily doing aspirational stuff, but that looks fun. And someone my age, I'm 23, it can really mess with my ego and my self-esteem. So, what I've done for it is I've actually deleted Instagram off my phone because I think that's one of the main harmful social medias for me. So I got rid of it. I didn't delete my whole account, and I'll load it up on my laptop once in a while just to see if I got any messages, maybe do a quick scroll. But eliminating it off my phone stopped me from doing the passwords 11111, opens up, boom, Instagram, and then all I see is just scrolling, and I've lost 15 minutes of my life where I could have been spending that being mindful or doing something that's a bit more beneficial for my mental health. And then all that, obviously, that subconscious me comparing, it makes me anxious because then I'm thinking, wait, I'm not where I want to be. Why don't I have the expensive car yet? I'm 23. Oh my gosh, like there's people so far ahead of me. And again, you're on your own timeline. Everyone's on their own timeline, but you can't help but compare and try to be someone you're not. And I think that's what we're constantly doing as humans, is we're really putting on a different mask. And of course, we're putting on masks now for the current pandemic, but we're now putting on these new. When we're born, we're putting on this mask and we're trying to be people we're not. Our expectations are set through our parents on we need to be this, and we follow that, and it can really drive someone up the wall when you start to realize that you're not who you thought you were, or you're not who you should be, and you realize that you don't need to be anybody. You can be anybody who you want at any moment, and that might be a bit far out, but it's this internal struggle that we're constantly getting pushed onto outwards, all this information, all these things to compare, and all these desires out there, all these sins, if you will. It's like, I got to be partying, I got to be doing alcohol, got to be a celebrity, I got to chase this, chase that, and what it can do is just it can really overwhelm people. And I think this is really a main cause of what the issues are with mental health and for a lot of people. And I don't think we're really aware of it. And I don't think we're really going to find out for another couple of years before we start studying what social media and all these things have done to us. But it's this constant stimuli that's really forgot that we actually have stuff going on inward. And again, kind of circling back to that mindfulness and that meditation, what it does is it really takes your time to look inward and see and sit with that anxiety or sit with those things you don't understand. It's one of the most profound practices that I've picked up in the last year. You realize that you're not really your thoughts all the time. You can start to see that, a lot of these anxiousness or these desires that you're chasing wasn't really something that you really wanted to do anyway. And you really focus on what you actually do want. You come to terms with, these are the actual desires. These are the things I want to do for myself. And you start to eliminate and cut out certain influences, and you want to start controlling your environment in a way where you're actually controlling it. So for me, it's getting into a more creative space, getting into a spot where I can actually work on myself, read my books more. I found myself spending too much time on video games, and video games is just as much as social media, man. You get caught up on social media scrolling and looking at things, but gaming is just the same thing. It's just a dopamine hit. You go to escape, you run away from your feelings. You're not turning inward and looking inward and finding out what are the root causes of these issues or these emotions, not issues, sorry, these emotions and feelings. So I kind of cut that out. All I have in my MacBook is, I've definitely eliminated the screen time as well as the gaming time because I just don't have access to the games. But it's led me to maybe spend a little bit more time watching YouTube. But again, I'm trying to curate the things that I watch on YouTube is going to be more beneficial for me. So I'm watching, funny enough, I'm watching the golden ratio videos like Nikola Tesla and just diving into these weird kind of funky far out videos on that. But, I'm also watching a lot of things on Hinduism and symbolism and breaking down my interests and diving deep into those things and just kind of learning that way. So I think it's a very good use of my time. I think it's good to be mindful and not to lose hours into watching YouTube. And just, focus on really going into what you like. And that follows suit with, for a long time, I was very insecure with wanting to do content creation or putting a video out of me speaking and all these things. Like I might not even put this video out, but if I was, it's going to be awesome. It's more a benefit to me. And I think we need to start switching gears and doing stuff out of our desire, or not our desire, but out of our wantingness to grow and to fail and learn from that and not care what other people think. Because if you don't do that, you're never gonna grow, or you're never really gonna learn or put out stuff that you want. And, part of me doing these videos is to get out of my comfort zone, get out of something that I've always wanted to do but never did. And well, I did used to do it, but I was never open about it, and it's pretty secretive. So this is really all part of that journey of that. It's getting in front of a camera, getting in front of a mic, speaking and just speaking my mind. I've talked through pretty much one idea, and I feel like I might have went on a tangent, and hopefully I did, and hopefully there's some benefits to it. But maybe I didn't make any sense in that time being. And again, I won't know until I play this video back or play this recording back and listen to it and hear the ums and the ahs and the things that I do wrong, and how I can look at that and be like, okay, I can improve on that. I can eliminate my ums and my ahs. I can be more precise on what I'm trying to say, and then go back and try again, get better, 1% better every day. I don't know if that's a book or not, but I haven't read it. But I think that title of a book is going to give you enough information on what you need to do. So it's all a process. I'm not expecting to be anywhere anytime soon. It's just being present and enjoying the moment, and making sure I'm learning. Of course, I think if you're not learning, then you kind of get messed up in the head, in the sense where if you're not learning, you're not excited for anything. You're kind of just doing things, and you're just kind of on autopilot. And that could be very dangerous, because you go on autopilot, you start looking inward, you start looking outward, you start comparing, and it's a vicious cycle. Of course, we need balance. But kind of going back to the beginning of this, I was talking about how I've been kind of being much of a Libra, where I'm indecisive, and I want to go to India, but I don't also want to stay for work and build up that career. I also want to be an entrepreneur, or I'm an entrepreneur currently. So it's this constant, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what to do. How do I commit to that? And, there's always guides out going to be how you weigh these options. And a lot of what I've been trying to do is try to really nurture that sixth sense, which is your intuition, and go off feeling and what I feel is the right thing to do at that time, not so much what I logically think. I used to, to a certain point, of course, I found that I switched gears from being very feeling based and very intuitive probably 5-6 years ago. And then I was introduced to just being a bit more logical, which is a great thing, and picking up that skill set of being logical, and I still am. But I found it was making me do decisions that might not benefited me long term. And it was always like, okay, well, you should stay at this company for another couple of years because that's where the opportunity is. And I realized that wasn't my opinion. That was my opinion of my peers, my family, my parents especially, saying, hey, this is what you should do because this is the guidelines for life. When who wrote the guidelines for life? I write the guidelines for my life. I don't necessarily have to work on the timeline of others. I can go out and do whatever I wanted whenever I want, right? Of course, within reason, and think what's going to be best for you. Or me. Yes, sure, I could stay another couple of years at a company and really grow within that company and make money and get shares in the company and really grow and have myself better. And I understand the whole sacrifice now, eat caviar later caveat. But that's not necessarily what it's about. It's about, nurturing the soul in a way. There's always going to be time to build you up. It depends on what you want, of course. So you should look inward and find out, do you want to be rich, wealthy, whatever, what have you. I think wealthy is something that, of course, it does have money involved. I think wealthy is more of like your mental, your physical, and then your outside assets that let you live a life that you want to live. And I think that's what wealthy is defined as. But if you want to chase money right now, that's your goal. So you're sacrificing now for the future. But if it's not sitting right with your spirit and you feel this desire to go travel and explore, I think you should do that. And that's kind of the terms that I came to with myself is, I've been learning a lot these last 5-6 years and really focused on a lot of things that have really helped me mentally and grow professionally. But I think it's time I need to take a step back and actually nurture kind of that spiritual aspect of myself. And I think going to India is something that's awesome for that, because I've been very interested in Hinduism, of course, meditation, mindfulness. And I feel like in that place, you're really kind of focused on that Eastern spiritualization, spiritualization. I don't know if that's a word, but that Eastern spiritualness, as opposed to our logical Western side. And we need to get away from that once in a while to kind of almost reset and look inward and just kind of solve answers for yourself. So that's kind of where I've landed. I think I need to do a bit more travel, really explore and get out there and get out of my comfort zone again. Learn new cultures, because you really can't know what you want if you don't have perspective. You know, it's everyone's always chasing to be happy, but how can you be happy without having sadness? So the peaks and the valleys, the dharma of life, the chaos and the order, and the Tao. You know, it's just that's what it is. It's, for me, at least in my life, I've really started to notice that you can't have perspective if you don't have the peaks and the valleys. Like you don't know what you want if you haven't seen what you don't want. And that's so important. And you don't know what you don't want until you have what you do want. And there's this thing, and that's just really, it's the cosmic wave. It's just this thing you're constantly surfing throughout life. And I think if you're able to look at that and be aware that there is this ebb and this flow, you can kind of enjoy life for its ups and its downs. And I think, obviously I think this is what's coming out of my mouth, so it's all from my perspective. That's a crutch word. But it's really being able to look at almost life, again, logically, but see that logically you're going to go through these ebbs and these flows, and you're going to be able to navigate life in a much more calm, present position, because you realize that these downs are going to happen, but you also know that these ups are going to happen. So you're going to just be along for the ride and roller coaster of life and present, and just embrace it. So I don't really know where I was kind of hopping off and where I stemmed off there, but I think there's some value there, I think. I don't like using the word I think. I'm going to eliminate that starting now. But going forward, with my decision on traveling, it's going to be great for my mental health and the exploration of what is out there in the world, especially India. India is a very polarizing country. It's ridden with some of the worst poverty in the world, but it also is one of the most beautiful countries with a lot of wealth and richness. So there's so much duality there, and I think it's such a great area to explore and see that and give me perspective. I know I'm going to go on a train in India and see, very, very skin to the bone kids, and it's going to be damaging. It's going to hurt. It's going to feel bad, but it's going to showcase, the sadness that exists in our world, and maybe even illuminate what I want to do to help the world. And it's really all about that. I think is just finding your purpose. And I think ultimately, it's ultimately about, for me, is in trying to improve the world and help people out, and for, I think, a lot of other people, the same thing. But we just haven't figured that out yet. And as a civilization, we need to definitely come together and work as a collective unit, but we also need to highlight the individuals that are doing different things, putting out different ideas, and we need to respect that their opinions might be polarizing themselves. And that's definitely an issue that we're going through today. And I don't necessarily want to dive into politics around it, but you look at, I'm from Canada, so I'm just observant. I don't have an opinion necessarily on it, I definitely have an opinion on it, but I definitely don't, I'm ignorant more so in this, but what I see is just this massive divide of left and right. And that's not the most ideal way to go, because all it's doing is separating people and humans. We're all different, absolutely. People on the left are going to be different from other people on the left and share different opinions, but we're getting so skewed and so niche into what your beliefs are. There's no room for growth or changing of an opinion. It's just, if you don't believe in this, damn you to hell. And it's so dangerous, because now we're just creating a constant divide, and it's between left and right, and now we're all going to go at the heads, and it's going to turn into a civil war, whatever. And then, it's like, I'm not going to give you an opinion on how I feel about people like Trump or who's the other guy, Biden, but, either way, we need to be able to look at their opinions and what they want to do, and we need to actually look at it and understand where the opposing view is and understand where your view is, and we need to meet in the middle, because if we keep choosing one side, it's just going to cause more chaos, and it's not going to turn out good for us. at least from my opinion and from what I've seen. And that goes with everything that's going in today. We can't have people saying something and then if it's kind of off tune or it's not really with the general consensus, we bash them or we cancel them. We can't be having that, because it's just going to eliminate free thinking. It's going to eliminate having people express themselves, which is going to slow down the growth of a civilization. Just saying, that might not be correct, but I think it's going to slow it down. We're going to have less people expressing themselves. We're going to have less artwork. We're going to have less beauty out there because we have people that aren't allowed to go outside that box. And I like to speak in a way where it says, they don't want you to do that. And whoever they is, the Illuminati, the high-powered corporations or the governments, doesn't matter to me. I think it's just the idea of they, the general, not the general public, but society, these institutions kind of bogging you down, making you sit in this box. And we're starting to make it so you can't exit that box because you're going to step out of the box. And how dare you step out of the box? You're going to make people uncomfortable. You're thinking different. We don't want thinking different. We want you to think like everybody else. And it's totally about that these days. And it's gotten so much progressively worse. And you get these social medias wrapping it all back. Social media has this feedback loop of showing your interests and curating what you see. And then all of a sudden, just all you see is your friends boating and partying, and then beautiful women half naked on TikTok. And then that's all you start to desire. And then you get trapped in this box that you need to think this way and you need to pursue these desires, this wealth. But then you forget that's not you. You're not expressing yourself at that point, and you don't realize that. And you start, the waking up aspect is realizing that you aren't really these desires. These are just what's been put on you, and this is just the box you've been stuck in. And I think this is where the tormented artist comes in. So it's not something new here. I think it's always the artist's goal to express themselves and get out of a place that people don't understand. It's esoteric. It's going somewhere that's transcendent and bringing it back and making it digestible for the civilization or society. And that's really what it's about. Is there's the few individuals that do these things, and for me, it's really starting to drive me up the wall, because I gotta do this. I gotta work the 9-to-5 job. I gotta act normal. I gotta do my chores. I gotta follow these fine guidelines on what I should be doing, what is expected from me from society. And I think there's good to that too when it comes to balance. But I think again, it's so dangerous, because now it's like, when can I express myself, or when can someone else express themselves? Because if it's out of the box, again, you're getting in trouble. So, I think that's really where this podcast or whatever video is all about. Just wanted to kind of spit some ideas, just go free throw works. Free flow, stream of consciousness, let the Holy Spirit work through me, and just talk, because I think it's very therapeutic. So if you enjoyed this podcast or video, make sure to subscribe. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know some feedback. Let me know, especially if you disagree. I think there's a great conversation piece here. Shoot out some ideas you want me to talk about next. But again, I appreciate you for tagging along and listening to however long this video was. So again, rate, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment, do your thing, give me a call, phone call, whatever you have. Shoot a text, check in on me. Who cares? Well, I do care. I really do care. I care a lot, actually. So love you, and looking forward to the next video. Take care.